Good morning, Jeremy, and I am with, of course, your disability rep, Roy Rickstrew. Roy, good to see you.
Likewise, Tom. Always a pleasure.
For me as well. I don't know if we've ever talked about this before, and it's like widow and widowers benefits.
So Social Security does have a program for widows and widowers. In the event that your spouse had passed somewhere along the way, there may be eligibility to draw under their work record.
Okay.
One of the reasons why this was so important, especially years ago, a lot of women worked inside the home, didn't work outside the home, and therefore didn't have a Social Security account to draw on their own social. So it was vital that they be able to access their spouse's work record when that person passed. Otherwise, they would have been without any income or any support. And so the program was really important for a time. Now that more women are in the workforce, a lot of times their work records are big enough. Maybe widows and widowers claims aren't as important as they used to be. But certainly there was a time that these programs were vital for a lot of people.
But the programs are still there.
Oh, yeah, they're still there, and there's often times that people want to still access those, especially with older workers. They can get to their own account, and it pays better than their spouses. Right now we're in a point where women are higher earners than men in a lot of situations.
Absolutely.
And so you're seeing a little reversal on this.
All right.
So there's a few things that you have to meet qualification-wise to draw widow or widower's benefits. Had to have been married for 10 years. You have to file within 7 years of your spouse passing.
Okay.
So there has to be a time frame. And then also the deceased worker had to have had a work record to draw against. So they had to have worked, been invested in the system, have an account that they can draw against. So those three things: married for 10 years, file within 7 years of the passing, your spouse had to have been an insured worker, had to have had a work record. And then of course the other thing is an age criteria.
Okay.
So at age 60, you can access a widow or widower's claim regardless of your health. Just at age 60, you can get into that account.
Okay.
It's with penalty for drawing early like everything else, but you can get into that account. You can also get to that account if you're 50 and disabled.
Okay.
And these are the folks that I'm most likely to encounter here.
Sure.
Especially, again, with some women that maybe didn't work outside the household. They get to 50, they're disabled, their husband's passed. There may be a way to draw off of the husband's record.
Okay. Sounds like
or the wife's record.
another hoop to have to jump through, of course. All right, there's one word that you keep using, though. Married.
Well, one other thing, if you're caring for a really young child, your age doesn't matter as much. So if you've got a minor child in the home under teenage, I think it's 14 officially.
And it does happen.
But if you get really young kids, you can get to the program without being 50, without being disabled. You can still access that account.
All right. But then let's go back to the married thing. Because that's, you keep saying, married this way. Married. What is married?
Married is interesting is what it is. And so if you're married under state law, had a license, went and had a service of some sort, or met in front of a public official, if you're registered, I guess.
Okay.
If your marriage was registered with the state, then you're clearly married. But some states honor common law. Missouri doesn't, but some states do, some of the neighboring states, in fact. If your state recognized common law and you met the common law criteria, then Social Security will follow state law and consider you married. If you are in one of the states that don't honor common law, then they won't honor common law. So that's one caveat to being married. The other thing is Social Security for the SSI program, for example, looks at holding out as married. And these are folks that have maybe lived together for years, they've commingled their finances, they've got rental agreements, car loans together. They present to the world as if they're husband and wife, but they're not officially married. And Social Security calls these people holding out as married. For the SSI, one of the other programs, they consider you married. For the widows program, they don't.
Okay.
So a little inconsistency in the program. Here in Missouri, it's going to be important. If you're married under Missouri state law, you're married.
Yes.
If you're married in another state, we got to look at those state laws. We got to look at how long you were there, and then we got to consider when you moved here to decide if you're really married. So what should be the cleanest, clearest part of this whole discussion is really probably the murkiest.
I was just going to say that. Well, what this says to me is there are so many different states. You're working with so many different definitions of what marriage is or is not. It sounds like you need someone who can give you some sound advice on where to go with things like this.
And widows and widower claims are something that I enjoy working on, just simply because people find themselves in a really tough spot when a spouse passes. It's an opportunity for us to get in there and take over that struggle, ease their burden. We do with disability too, of course, but especially with this population, we get to ease that burden, make things easier for folks. A lot of folks qualify for this, and it really is that breath of fresh air that they need in a very critical time in their life.
All right.
But you can call the office, 417-812 6698 is my desk. Give me a
Yes.
call directly and we'll chat.
That's a huge advantage. People get to you directly. It's not going through switchboards and this thing. So again, give them a call. Your disability rep, Roy Rickstrew. Back to you.